Uh, Thank you, Ananda, and welcome everyone. I'm really glad you could join us today for this important discussion on circular economy and procurement, turning strategies into actions. We have a packed agenda and a lot to cover, so let's get started right away. Uh, what I will cover today includes a section one in which I will walk you through some key circular economy principles. In section two, I will outline some of LGP's recent innovations. In section three, two of our approved suppliers will uh, present sharing valuable insights into their circular product and solution. And finally, we have some time for question and answers. Uh, Here, let's start just a bit of with just a bit of information on circular economy principles. As you know, unlike traditional linear model of like take, make, dispose, the circular economy model keeps material in use by, for example, reusing and repairing and recycling as long as possible to minimize the waste and maximize their value. It has three principles. The first one is designing out waste and pollution, meaning we design products from the very beginning with repair and reuse and recycling in mind. We can prevent waste before it happens. The second one means thinking carefully about how we use and dispose of products. Instead of throwing things away after a short time, we can buy durable items, repair them when they break, and reuse materials wherever possible. And the third one means using fewer raw materials, choosing renewable resources, and supporting products that helps nature recover. Here, let's take a quick look at the policies and regulations shaping this space across Australia. At the national level, we have a different initiatives, and the most important one is our National Waste Action Plan. And recently, on December last year, Department of Climate Change, Energy, Environment and Water (DQ) published Australia's first circular economy framework, which includes three targets to measure circular economy in your operations and plan to double our circular economy rate by 2035. And just today, the Productivity Commission released its interim report on Australia's circular economy, unlocking the opportunities. It includes the recommendation, some direction and information on how is Australia progressing on circular economy. I haven't had a chance to read the full report, but LGP was part of developing this report, so I encourage you to have a look at it whenever you have a time. And particularly in New South Wales, we have two important documents: New South Wales Waste and Sustainable Materials Strategy 2041 and New South Wales Circular Economy Policy Statement, in which you can see the sustainable procurement has been highlighted as a key focus area. This is also aligned with the environmental sustainable policy later published by DQ. So, how procurement can contribute to circular economy? This table, which is extracted from LGP's white paper, outlines some key initiatives. For example, procurement department can develop policies that encourage council staff to first consider whether an item is necessary to purchase or there are existing options available within the council that can be reused. Also, during the tender evaluation process, procurement teams can use and assign more weights to circular economy related criteria such as recyclability or durability. Additionally, procurement can negotiate with suppliers to include clauses related to, let's say, return of products at the end of their life cycle. So to support councils in their circular economy journey, LGP has taken some innovative initiative listed here to turn strategies into actions. The first two initiatives highlighted here are our research projects to raise awareness among council staff. As many of you may know, in LGP's white paper, we identified key challenges and provided a set of recommendations. Building on this, last year we published a discussion paper based on 2024 data. In this paper, we not only revised the top challenges, but also identified the emerging ones. Additionally, we ranked the recommendation and grouped them into four key actions to provide a clear and structured approach in implementation phase. These papers are available via our website, but for now, I would like to quickly share some key insight from the discussion paper. This table shows the main challenges council face in advancing circular economy in procurement, including lack of staff knowledge, insufficient leadership support, cost to implement, supply chain challenges, and finally, the lack of sufficient case studies. To address these challenges, we categorize all the recommendation into four key actions. Action one, focus on tackling the lack of staff knowledge, incorporating several recommendations that you can see in this table. I won't go through all of them as they're clearly explained in our papers, but I do want to highlight two key recommendations. First is developing a comprehensive training program, which was identified as the most important action. In our survey, more than 60 council staff voted for this recommendation, emphasizing the need to understand how to embed circular economy principles across procurement. LGP's Innovation 5, which I'm going to talk about it later in this session, is related to this one. The second key recommendation is conducting market research for circular product. This highlights the importance of proactive approach in identifying which circular product and services are available in the market and which suppliers offer them. LGP's innovation number 6, which I'm going to talk about it again later, is related to this one. Action 2, focus on gaining stronger support from your leadership team. Two key recommendations from this table. First, incorporating circular economy goals into procurement strategic plan. This is crucial because it ensures alignment between procurement activities and your council's broader sustainability commitment. Start by reviewing your high-level strategy documents, such as community strategy plan, to identify existing circular economy-related goals. Then embed these goals and turn it into your procurement policies, procedures, and action plans to drive consistency across departments. Innovation number 3 is related to this one. The second recommendation is establishing measurable KPI within your procurement process. By setting clear indicators, you can track progress towards circular economy objectives and demonstrate tangible results. And LGP's Innovation 4 is related to this one. So these steps help to communicate with your senior executive that circular economy is not just an additional initiative, but a strategic priority already recognized within the council. Action 3 focus on managing cost while driving circular economy goals. Cost has always been a common challenge, not just for circular economy projects, but for any new initiatives. Among the recommendations in this table, I want to highlight the importance of leveraging funding opportunities. There are several existing platforms that offer grants specifically for circular economy projects. For example, both the EPA and DQ websites have dedicated section where councils can apply for funding. For example, EPA Circular Economy Accelerator Program provides financial support for circular economy initiatives. Since LGP is on the program's panel, we are more than happy to assist you with your project plans. Additionally, LGP offers the LGP Capability Grant Fund Program, which can help council advance their circular economy initiatives by providing funding support. And finally, action 4 focus on managing your supply chain effectively. One key takeaway here is the importance of clearly communicating your circular economy expectation to suppliers. This can be done through various methods, such as embedding circular economy criteria in tender evaluation or incorporating measurable KPIs in contract and add specific circular economy clauses to procurement agreement. So now let's go to innovation 3, which I mentioned before. This innovation is about finding the key themes and insight from the sector. To do so, we conducted an in-depth analysis of environmental goals across all 128 New South Wales Council's community strategic plan. By collecting and analyzing these goals, we identified the 5 key environmental themes that are common within the sector, including natural ecosystem and biodiversity, waste management and circular economy, climate and energy, urban and infrastructure management, and natural hazards and disaster management. We also took a closer look at waste management and circular economy category. And as you can see, waste management remains the number one priority, environmental priority in this category. While circular economy is currently lower in priority, it is expected to grow in importance as more councils integrate circular economy principles into their strategies. In number 4, we are pleased to announce that we are going to launch our new circular economy measurement kit, which can help to measure circular economy in your procurement process. This toolkit is designed to help council measure and track their progress towards circular economy goals in procurement, aligning with Australia's national circular economy targets, which I've mentioned previously, and ISO 59000 standard. It includes a structured set of criteria indicators tailored to fit different procurement stages like planning, sourcing, and managing. One of the interesting features is the ability to customize and weight these criteria based on each council's priority. This toolkit has also potential to provide interactive examples tailored to specific industries and a dynamic dashboard for easy tracking of their progress. If you're interested in learning more or seeing a demonstration, please feel free to reach out after the webinar. In number 5, to support in building council's capability, I would like to quickly highlight another exciting project we are working on it at LGP. Recently, we made a partnership with Anvata, a leading company in the circular economy sector, as our knowledge and design and development partner to develop a unique training program that focuses on integrating circular economy principles into procurement process for local governments. Hopefully, it will be launched by end of May this year. These are the learning outcome for these programs. So if this sounds like something your councils could benefit from, I encourage you to reach out to us to express your early interest. And finally, innovation number 6, focus on adding circular economy filter tag to our contract panel. You can use this tag to easily identify LGP approved contractors who offer, for example, product with recycled content or who accept returns at the end of product lifecycle. In my previous webinar, sorry, this is the tag. In my previous webinar, on waste solution delivered by our BDM team, I provided detailed explanation of how this filter tag works. If you'd like to more information, I encourage you to check out the webinar recording or contact me. Okay, that's finished from my side. Now I'm pleased to announce that we have 2 guest speakers from our high-performing approved contractors. They're joining us today to share how their companies are incorporating circular economy principles into their offering and what procurement options are available to you. Our first speaker is Patrice Sheriff, who has been a key member of the Brandworks team since 2006, specializing in uniforms for local government across Australia. With 19 years of industry experience, she is known for delivering high-quality tailored solutions. Passionate about sustainability and inclusion, she advocates for eco-friendly practices and diverse representation in the apparel sector, ensuring a positive and lasting impact. Patrice, thank you. Over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you. Good morning, everybody. And thank you for your time today. Who is Brandworks? As we've mentioned, we are an Australian-owned family business. We were established in 1986. So next year we celebrate 40 years in the industry. Brandworks specialises in workwear, PPE and corporate apparel in Port Kembla in Wollongong. We began producing Australian-made clothing for the steelworks industry at a time when mainstream workwear companies were just scarce in Australia. We had our King G's and our Yakas, but that was about all. So we started to manufacture the workwear. And 40 years on, we still manufacture Australian-made clothing for local government all across Australia. So custom lifeguard apparel. So But over the 20 years, I guess I've been with Brandworks, I could see a real need for change in our apparel industry. We're probably one of the worst industries with all our plastic and our, the sustainability, in the past has been horrific. So often I'd be approached by procurement on what do we do with all this workwear that we've collected and, the corporate clothing, and we can't donate it to charity because of the branding aspect on the clothing. So realistically it was going to landfill. So on my search 10 years ago, my only options really were to ship offshore for recycling. So that's what we did in pallet loads. This process was certainly not transparent and it was very costly. But 8 years ago, Brandworks partnered with Apparel. I'm sure some of you would have heard of Apparel Recycling. They're a Melbourne-based company who has recently been certified as a social enterprise. Their work with disability and homeless is second to none. It's unbelievable. But how does their recycling program work? So if you partner with Apparel, they will provide bins with local government, logos on them. These bins can be placed anywhere within the LGA. And once a month, they will collect these bins. The duration on that pickup can be, shorter or longer. It just depends on your needs. So once they are taken to Melbourne, it is all sorted on site, and the clothing is then shredded and repurposed into various applications such as signage, acoustic panelling and consumer products. Apparel will provide all local government with certification of destruction of the garments. So you're sort of given confidence and reassurance that the branded clothing will not reappear in the community. They are coming out each year with amazing new things that, the circular economy of what they, of these products. Once you've finished with any signage or the paneling, you send it back to Apparel to be, shredded and reproduced. Footwear is another one they're recycling. The boot is decommissioned and the rubber soles are then become rubber matting for underlay for sporting fields and playgrounds. So doing amazing things. And also the PPE, they're recycling hard hats and bits and pieces now. So just incredible work that they are doing. The amount of tonnes saved from landfill, if it's reported every day, so I can certainly send you some reports what they're sort of doing in that space. But I guess after establishing our recycling program and having a lot of local government, partnered with them, we sort of shifted our focus to sustainability within our supply chain. Over the past 6 years, we'll work really closely with our suppliers, our big suppliers and small, to incorporate more sustainable fabrics and materials into their products. Once upon a time, those eco-friendly products weren't on the market, but each year now we see an increasing number of eco-friendly products entering the market. When they do a market launch and they bring all the new clothing, the Bisleys and, all of those big manufacturers, there without a doubt there'll be an eco-friendly, quite a few products, garments in the new range coming out every year. So it might be a really good time to assess your current council wardrobe and evaluate how many eco-friendly garments it includes. Suppliers are more than happy to provide customers or council with products to wear trial them, to if you're not sure on their durability and their performance, why not, have some staff wear trial these eco-friendly products. I'm keeping it short and sweet. I've been given 5 minutes. So my email and phone number is included in this presentation. So please don't hesitate, reach out to me and, we can go in further details. There's a lot more details to this, but please reach out. We can partner together and do some really, really good things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrice. Thank you very much for sharing such a valuable insight. It's really great to hear the actually real world example of how companies like you embed circular economies and put them into action, which is really, really great to hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our second speaker is Michael Tran, who has been an account executive at Dell Australia for 7 years. With an IT engineering background, Michael has been in IT sales in Australia for over 35 years. Throughout his career, he has looked after some of the largest corporates such as Qantas, major banks, as well as major government bodies. He focused on delivering great outcomes and wonderful customer experience. Michael, over to you.
Thank you, Heidi, and thank you, Patrice. Funnily enough, listening to Patrice talk about 40 years for Brandworks, Dell, in fact, is also 40 years old. So a very similar sort of history. And in that 40 years, obviously, Dell, has grown to be one of the major IT suppliers in the world. And that also leads to considerations around circular economy, wastage, and recyclability of our products. Um, Next slide, please, Heidi. Okay, so there's a lot on this slide, so obviously these can be shared with you later. But when Dell looks at sustainability, we look at the whole picture. So it's not just the circular economy, but we look at every factor within our sustainability and ESG goals. So on here, you'll see a lot of mention of our 2030 goal. So we set out from 2019, Michael Dell set out a policy to achieve a number of factors by 2030, and I won't go through all of this in the short time, but you can certainly read through this later. Next slide, please, Heidi. Okay, so sustainability is our business, is our imperative part of our business. It's not just producing products, making money, it is what you do with it. So let's see what Dell does in this case. Next slide, thank you. So as part of our sustainability goals, we're looking at accelerating our circular economy by 2030, like I said earlier. A few of the major factors when you are purchasing a Dell product, such as laptops and servers, etc., is that our aim is to take back on a one-on-one of our products by 2030. So that's a major aim, and you'll see further down in our presentation as to the sort of things that we do around there. Our packaging, now this is very important. I was highlighting this to another customer the other day. When you used to buy the phones and things like that, there used to be packaging on top of packaging on top of packaging. With the Dell equipment that you get these days, all of our packaging is 100% recyclable and renewable. And then on top of that, we have significantly reduced the actual packaging that you get. In fact, you only get the box and then your laptop, inside in a paper container. More than half of our product content, so if you look at let's say a laptop, you're looking at not just the packaging, not just the outside, but the nuts, the bolts, the insides of it. We're aiming to have more than half of that recyclable and reduce wastage and carbon emission even in the production of that by 2030. Next slide, please. Okay, so when you look at circular economy and what you're doing with behind the products, you've got to look at not just the recyclability of the product, but also the carbon footprint, the emissions. How do we make the newer laptop much more faster, more powerful, but at the same time reducing energy usage, reducing how we produce that. And at the end of the day, that middle point about reducing e-waste. So how do we as an organization partner with you and help you reduce e-waste as well, right? So every time you refresh a fleet of laptops, what happens to the existing fleet? There's value in that fleet, but also how do we extract the material and reuse? And that goes all the way from your end user computing all the way to your data center, and your infrastructure. So Dell's obviously involved in the whole IT chain. Next slide, please, Heidi. I'm talking slightly fast, like Patrice says, because with a short time frame, but more than welcome to have discussions later. Now, in terms of material, we won't go through this whole slide, but as you can see, every aspect of what we produce and the materials that we use, we look at the selection, similar to what Patrice does with the materials, etc., of the uniform. Dell does the same thing from the nuts, the bolts, the carbon, the steel, etc. We're looking at making sure that we reuse and recycle products, and also that the emissions in producing that raw material is controlled. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. And once you do that, what happens with the end product? So for technology, it's a bit more difficult than just putting into a bin. Obviously, there's a lot of data that's on that equipment to making sure that we protect you and your organizations by making sure that the data is wiped properly. We also manage our partners. As we in IT, we have a lot of partners, and you would use a lot of our partners in your procurement process. We also vet them and also make sure that they uphold the Dell values as well. And then at the end of the day, what do you do with the equipment? So like I said earlier, when you retire the equipment, there's value in that. So there's buyback, there's recycling of that on your behalf. And also sometimes that piece of equipment that we bring back can be reused in some other ways, such as given to charities, remote locations, etc., and reuse that product, because obviously they wouldn't be able to buy new products. So we are doing that as well. Next one, please, Heidi. Okay. So the product is one thing, but we're looking at our whole supply chain. So within the Dell factories, we are looking at the whole supply chain from factory to when the product's delivered to the end user. So sustainability within the factory, sustainability within the Dell offices, and then of course at the end of the day, making sure that the people that works for Dell within these factories and so on are also looked after. So it's not just the circular economy, but it's the whole picture that we look at. Okay, so having said all of that and our 2030 goals, etc., this is at the end of FY24, which and we do our own ESG impact. So this is a summary of what we've achieved so far. So I will go through this. So climate action. So in all of our Dell facilities, over 61% of our energy is recyclable, renewable. And in fact, the Dell office here in Chatswood, head office, has won many awards for our environmental impact. In terms of circular economy, when we talk about by 2030, 100% of our packaging is recyclable. We're already at 96.4% of the entire product portfolio is recyclable. We are 100% best place for work, especially for disability and equality, and that's recognized by industry standards. Digital inclusion. So when I was talking about earlier, what do we do with the products we take back, or the recyclable products, and how to use it and to donate it to charity, etc. We do that, and therefore the impact on others wider than the IT community. And I know this is not circular economy, but we are recognized as one of the world's most ethical company by Ethisphere Institute, as an example. And that's short and sharp on circular economy and Dell's ESG focus. It is a major part of us and what we do. So I would welcome any further discussions from the team.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you. Very interesting, and your presentation really helped to connect the strategy with the practical implication, which is the most important things. Before we move on, I would like to hear from our audience. Does anyone have any question for our speakers? Do we have any question, Tanya?
Yeah, hi, Hadi. So far, we've had just one question about the training.
Yes.
And the question is, how is the training different from the current Introduction to Circular Procurement course offered by Advata?
Okay, this is the training session that we're working on specifically is for local government sector. So as I could show you in the learning outcome, we specifically focus on the procurement process of a local government. So from planning sections stage to sourcing and also contract management. So we'll see how we can embed circular kind of principles in each steps. As I said, we just made the started the project. We are still at the early stage of developing the content, and then we will focus more on adding different or different and recent case studies, any like standards, any framework, well-known framework, and then how we can show you the implication within the procurement context. As I said, once we go further and once we close to the launch time, we provide more details in terms of how this or what this training program includes. But if you want to talk more about it earlier, I'm more than happy to. I think Nicole asked this question, but more than happy to talk to you and then get your feedback on what can be improved in this or what can be used in this training program.
Okay. Yeah, that's all the questions we have
Okay.
at the moment.
Okay. I have some questions for Patrice and Michael, if it's okay. Patrice, just a quick advice from your side. Can we have some information about like the cost associated with your recycling program, and then in case that councils request a like sample of your eco-friendly garment for trial, something like that? Patrice, can you hear me? I think you're mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. Sorry,
Good.
sorry. Yes, so there is a cost to for the recycling program, and it comes in at $3 a kilo. And you will need to subscribe or be in a partnership with them for 6 months. And they prefer 12 months, but they will offer a 6 months partnership. And the $3 includes the collection of the clothing and obviously the destruction. So it is done per kilo. And
Okay.
sorry, what was the other question?
Like a council, how the council can request like a sample of your eco-friendly products for
Yes.
demo or trial. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, whether it's workwear or it's a corporate garment or, even a PPE item, definitely the suppliers, all they ask for is a bit of feedback on what they, what the thoughts so they can improve the products. But we call it a wear trial, and, we often get one staff member or, who might be, it might be a heat issue or, any, things not being durable enough and not lasting long enough. So there's those options. All they have to do is reach out to me and we can organise that for sure.
Sure. Thank you very much. Michael, a quick question. Can you please give us some information how they'll will be able to partner with local governments to deliver any sort of circular economy program, any partnership program that you've created or your plan to create with local government?
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. So certainly, that's going to be part of what my engagement with local government is. There's always we do have facilities available for us to provide environmental reports to local government. So, for instance, if you want to look at your fleet and the energy usage and things like of a particular device, they'll certainly be able to provide all of that detail. Secondly, when you do any sort of refresh of your equipment, we can work with you on the implications and the cost return, if you like, when we do the swap out for you as well. So that will be on a case by case basis. So every time you do a procurement, we can work with you on that.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Hadi, we've got a couple more questions that have come in.
Sure.
One is from Erin Hall, and her question is there access to the toolkit and the demonstration as we are starting from scratch?
Sure. Just after the webinar, please send me an email. I'm more than happy to have a quick chat with you and show you how the toolkit works. I'm more than happy. Just send me an email.
Yep, and we have a question for both of our guests. The question is, are you looking into purchasing the recycled stock from apparel or an electronic recycler and using it to make new uniforms and computers? Is this feasible or possible for your businesses?
Not for us, no, not to make into, they're not currently, no, no, we're not currently looking to make the fibres into new workwear at this stage. I think that's probably down the track. They're making more consumer products, as I said, like more the dog beds and sofas and stuff like that. As far as making new fabric out of what the shredded fibres, that hasn't. No, that I'm not sure how far that is into the future.
And in our case, that's already part of the Dell supply chain. So a lot of the laptops and the equipment that's brought back, the internals are already turned into recycled products and into our other products. And in fact, almost industry-wide, the motherboards on laptops, etc., are repurposed and reused in our repair. So when you get a laptop repair, as an example, not always will you get a new motherboard, you'll get a recycled motherboard. So we're already doing that as part of the supply chain.
Okay, thank you. And that's it for questions at this stage.
Perfect. That brings us to the end of today's webinar. A big thank you to our guest speakers for the valuable insight, and to all of you for joining and engaging in this important discussion. I really encourage you to explore the resources we mentioned, including our white papers and discussion paper, which are available on our website. If you have any further questions or would you like to continue the discussion, please feel free to reach out. Thank you again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at future sessions. Have a great day.